Okay, at this point we can now start adding the lazy loading. Okay, so let's go to the app, but we need to create two files inside each component. And well, let's start. So you can see we need the add post a dash routing that module .ts, and we need also the add post that module.ts. Let's create those by hand. Let's do the same this one. So we're going to just copy and paste some things. Okay, once you have the first one, you can just copy and paste and change the export name and also the component. So we're going to do that. Let's say main dash routing that module.ts, enter, and now the main that module.ts again with the post dash routing that module.ts, and the last one that is post that module.ts. Everything you need to add it inside this module. Okay, so we can see that, so the application, the component can see that. So if you need forms or something, you will add that first in the app module and then add it inside this module. Okay, so you can import it. We're going to do that, okay, but I'm just saying. So let's start with this one. I'm just going to copy this configuration because it's the same. Okay, I'm just going to copy it. You can type it. Okay, of course, if you don't have something else, you can type it, and you will see that this is the same what we're going to use in the next ones. Okay, in the main routing and post routing, just changing the component we are going to fetch and the exporting model. Okay, so we're going to export this one as add post that matches, well, kind of matches the naming, adding routing module, okay, at the end. So we're going to look for the add post component that is here, okay, in the same folder here, and that is going to create our route. So that is going to be called. So we need this module. So let's go to the actual module. Let's copy this and let's paste it. So I'm pasting all this configuration. You can copy that because we're going to need this. Import the routing module. Import the command module. If you don't know, is what we are going to use or what you need if you use ng4, ngif, okay, inside your template. So we need to re-import all the things that should come from the app module, okay, that is down here. We need to re-import all those inside our modules because these individual components have each own module, and that is how we are going to lazy load. But in order for Angular to understand certain things, we need to re-import them here. Okay, so we import the routing module, that is this one. Okay, that is what we're exporting here. We have the add post component. From the add post component, we need to import this one here again, okay, to declare it as a component. And we need the reacting forms module that we still don't have it because we need to add it inside the app module that we're going to add it next. And everything you need, like the forms, you need to add them inside these imports. Okay, so you need to import the routing module, the reactive forms, and the common module. Okay, so just copy this and is going to be the same for this. So I'm just going to add it. Control C, Control V. Okay, you will have the file, so you will understand how this works. Again, since the important thing here is the component, okay, also we need the routes and the routing module in order to create the route, but we call the component that is the main component, that is this one. Okay, you can see that it's being exported here, so you need to match the naming. Okay, so let's save that, and the only thing that you are going to see that changes is this main, okay, before the routing module, as we did here. Okay, the add post before the routing module, matching the naming that you have there. You can add whatever name, but since you're going to need these ones in the routes, okay, it's better to export them with some naming that actually tells you something. So we need the module, that the module is what is going to declare and import the rest of the things. So we need the main routing module, that is the file we just created. Okay, you can see what we are exporting, and the main component. We also need the component inside here, because what this file is doing is just setting the route. Okay, but here we actually need to declare the component inside this, so the module can be fetched or can be loaded. Okay, so that's the only thing, and you export that with the name of the module, and save this. And the last one is the same thing, the post with this posting I mean with this routing. So let's say let me just copy that. Once you start working more with this, you will see what you need. Okay, it might look weird and you might not like that I'm copying this, but this is the same implementation all the time, except the name of the component. Okay, and the name you're exporting here, that's the same configuration for the rest of the things. Is just the same for the other ones. So we paste now the module, and here is the same thing. The only thing that changes is what you want to add actually inside this component, what you want the component to have. Okay, so that's the only thing you need to change inside here. If you don't want to add the forms, you just remove this and stop importing the forms. Okay, so you can see we are adding the post component and the routing module that is up here, and just exporting this as post module. So now what we are going to do after this, okay, I hope you got that, but we're going to change what we have. So at this point, you just copy and paste what I have here, because it's just the same thing. Okay, you're going to use the same thing. I'm just going to delete that, and we can have well, I'm going to delete all this also. We're going to build this one. So what we need inside this app routing module is first of all, okay, let me just remove that spacing, the engine module, routes and router module. Now here we're going to say constant routes is type routes, sorry, and here we add an array. Okay, let's add a semicolon there, and let's add the last things, that is just the module, the imports, that is the routes, the scroll position. You can remove this, okay, but this is going to just set the scroll to be whatever you have. You can say disable top, enable. Okay, you can read all what it does here. Restores the previous scroll position and all that. If you want that, if you don't want it, you can just remove it and leave it like this. Okay, but let's keep it there. So let's save that and let's actually import our paths. So let's say path. This is going to be for the main route. So we're going to say load children, okay, the property. But this property now accepts a function that this function, what it's going to do is import the module, okay? Sorry, not like this, it's like this. Is import and a function, and this function has this then, okay, method. So what we're going to do now is to say we need to find where are our components. So you can see we have this at post, this main, and this post. This is for the main. So let's say main. We add another slash, and what we need here is the main module. Okay, you can see the error just disappears, and now then this is going to load this module, and then we're going to say m from module, and we're going to use m that main module. So this is going to load the module and it's going to load the routing that we have inside that module. So let's say path add post, again load children. Again, this takes a function which is going to import what we want to have in this path. So let's say we have the add post, and we need the add post module. Now this is going to have a then, of course, module. We want you to load the add post module. Okay, so all this is coming from the IntelliSense. And the last one, that is going to be path post, not pist, post ID. This one is going to receive an ID. Load children again, the same thing, import, and then okay, so we need this. So what we need is the post module, and then m for the module. Let's add a little space in there, and m that post module. So now we already have our routes added. So let's save this one because this one isn't saved. In case you have an error, let's Control C and let's say ngserve, because if you created those, it's not going to have it. Okay, let's see if we have an error. Because if you create the files, the routing files, it's not going to understand them. Okay, it's not going to actually get them. If you have the application running, you need to restart the server, and you should have everything. So let's say main. Okay, what we have here. No, sorry. Main is not that. It's, let's say add post. Okay. Let's actually build the navigation so we can see that. It's not working because we miss. Well, I missed something important. So let's go to the okay, what we're expecting here, we're expecting to say the module works, okay, because that's the thing that we render. So let's say let's go to add post and let's click the HTML, and you can see we have this. We want to see this, okay, but we are not seeing that because we need the router outlet. So let's go to that module here. we have all this. So we're going to start working with the HTML inside the app component.html. So just go there, remove all that, and we're going to add, well, let's type it, the div with class container. Now we are going to add the navigation. Okay, I'm just going to say UL. Here I want to have an LI with a router link. You have this. Okay, we can remove the parameter and we can just keep that. Okay, it's not okay. Let me just fix this. This shouldn't be like this. A router link. Okay, it's having this shit like that. Well, let's see if that works. This should work, but yeah, this should work. So let's say this one is going to be the ng fire post. Let's add another UL list A. We can say router link is going to add that shit again like that, and let's remove the param, and this one is going to go to add post, and it's going to have the new post. Okay, let's add it like that. So after this we're going to set the main, and inside the main I want the router outlet that it should be here. You can have a different router outlets, that's why sometimes you will see that it has a name. So let's actually okay, I have something there that shouldn't be okay, this thing. So now if I go to ngFire post, it's working, main works, and add post works. Okay, so we have now the navigation. I'm not going to add authentication. Okay, if you want me to add authentication later, I will do a different thing just to focus on authentication, because this one already has several things, and since we're going to use RxJs and we're going to work with a ton of things, that's why I'm not going to implement right now the authentication. Okay, so we can have the authentication later added into this one or into another project, so you can see how that works. But I already have some code reviews using authentication, so this is just the same, okay, as those. I also have a role-based authentication and JSON Web Token authentication. Okay, so you can add all those into this. So yeah, I also going to add a Firebase JSON Web Token or custom token authentication with Node. So you will send the authentication credentials to Node, manage those using Firebase, and return a token. And you know, it's interesting. Okay, so I think we're going to leave it here and continue in the next part, creating the service in the next video, because yeah, we have this that is working, and since we're not going to have we are not going to have authentication, sorry, and we can start building actually the components and adding all the things we need. So yeah, let's cut this one here and continue in the next one.